Ruth from BIPC Nottinghamshire, and welcome to our Lunch and Learn swap shop. Here in Nottinghamshire, we've recently opened our first local site at Bulwell Riverside Library, and we have Beeston, Mansfield and Sutton in Ashfield coming very soon as well, offering access to market reports and company information, as well as one-to-one appointments with our advisors, intellectual property support and a whole range of other activities and events. So if you're based in the East Midlands, do check out our website to find out what else we've got on offer. We'd love to hear from you. If you're elsewhere in the country, check what's happening at your local library. They've got similar programmes as well in all the centres around the country. As you'll hear, Swap Shop was set up by business owners to help others, and it's great to see how people have responded in a collaborative and supportive way, especially through the lockdowns and since as businesses have started to rebuild. So we thought it was perfect to include in today's starter day with the sustainability theme. So let's get straight on to the swapping. I'm delighted to introduce Swap Shop founder Rachel Hayward and ambassador Jim B.
Hi everybody, I'm Rachel. Jim, do you think we're live?
I think we're live. We can hear the phones ringing, Rachel, in the background. I heard Ollie say run VT there, so it's something we've done before. Welcome.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody, and welcome to our lunchtime session where we're going to take you through our journey of creating the UK Swap Shop. I'll introduce you to me, and then I will also pass on to Jim, and we'll tell you how we met. And most importantly, we will talk about the swaps that have happened in the past 18 months, the swaps that are available now, and how you can get involved. Please do put some questions and comments in the chat function. I will be multitasking with you at lunchtime today. So whilst Jim is talking, I'm going to be checking the chat box. But the most important thing to tell you right now is that whilst you're listening to us, you can also head over to the Swap Shop website, which is www.theukswapshop.co.uk. And as if by magic, and as if we've done this before, Jim has put that on the screen. It's just like being in the TV programme from back in the day. So to give you a little bit of an insight into me and how Swap Shop started, if I can take you back 18 months, I'm a solo business owner. I run a company called Ask the Chameleon. I write bids, contracts, tenders. And when the pandemic first happened, when Boris made that announcement that we had to stay at home, not go to work, I will be totally honest with you, my world fell out from my business. I was absolutely devastated. I thought that was the end of my business that I'd spent 6 years building. In Derby, where I mainly work, we started to have those very early Zoom calls. Do you remember those, Jim, when nobody really knew how to use Zoom? Nobody was.
Is my mic on? Can I hear this? Yeah.
You're on mute.
Yeah. Crazy times. And nobody was ready for it. Nobody was prepared at all.
Exactly. And we are such professionals at the Zoom now. You know, so I am part of something called Marketing Derby Bondholder Scheme, where it's an inward investment agency. And I was on a call with a number of different businesses and also a charity representative from Safe and Sound. And their CEO, Tracy Harrison, said, there's got to be some way that we can swap with each other to get through the next couple of months that we thought it was. I'm a magpie. I like brand new shiny ideas. And also I remember Swap Shop from back in the day. It was my favorite TV program. So I reached out to another business owner, Dean Jackson from Hoob, and said, I've got this idea, but instead of swapping toys, we would swap business, skills, services, products, whatever we needed to be able to help each other. Fortunately, Dean also thought it was a great idea, but neither of us can code for toffee. Fortunately, I'd met a very new company called Think3. They're a creative agency also in Derby. And I rang Lee and he said yes to me straight away. So already my world is looking up because people are saying yes in an environment where everything for me was no. I wasn't eligible for any government support. Everything that I looked at, it was for other businesses, but not me. And that's the one thing that holds me fast to Swap Shop, is that Swap Shop is positive. It's all about the yes and what we can do. Fast forward literally 2 weeks and Think3 had built our very first website. It was called Derby Swap Shop, and we launched on Star Wars Day, May the 4th. Another homage to our obsession with TV programs from back in the day. And we had 40 people in Derby on that call, and we had 10 swaps. And it was things like, can you teach me how, can you not necessarily teach me, can you do me an SEO hit list? And in return, I will write some PR copy for you. I wanted someone to write me a MailChimp template. And in return, I gave them some advice on how to win business awards. We had legal advice for accountancy support. And that was the very same day that Ruth, who you've just seen now, actually contacted me through Twitter and said, I love what you're doing here in Derby. Can we have it in Nottingham? And I was like, well, can we just make it work in Derby first? And then we'll look at expansion, because we were running our own businesses along the same time. We grew really rapidly in Derby. I'm completely honoured to say that the small business community that I'm part of here really, took us into their arms, and swapping was happening thick and fast. And a bit later, I'll give you a couple of examples of the success stories that we've had. We did expand into Nottingham. We also expanded into Leicester. So at one point we had 3 websites that we were running along the same time as our own businesses. The British Library and the IP Centre network came on board to help us. And what do you do when you're in 3 areas? You think, okay, I'm going to go UK wide, why not? Because the pandemic and the lockdown was taking a lot longer than we originally thought. And we were having contacts from people outside the area, Devon, Scotland, Northeast. We like what you're doing, can we be part of it? So we took the opportunity to merge the 3 sites, because it was getting a little bit difficult to run them and my business at the same time. And we rebranded slightly, and we became the UK Swap Shop exactly a year ago this month. And in fact, we're celebrating our birthday tomorrow. Then we were finding that more people were coming on board. We had about 800 followers by Christmas. And that's when I stumbled into Clubhouse. So for those of you who perhaps don't know, Clubhouse is an auditory networking app. So originally it was just on iPhones. We had to wait to bring on board our Android members. And I stumbled into these various different rooms. It's like running a radio show, and it was networking, but in your pajamas, because nobody could see you. So for me, perfect. And this is where I met Jim. And I'm going to hand over to Jim for the next part of our story on Clubhouse and Swap Shop.
Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, met on Clubhouse. And for those who haven't used Clubhouse, it's you need to be on it for at least a week to find that perfect room. And that's where I was. So a little bit about me. I'm Jim Beach in Beresford. So by day, I'm the Chief Commercial Officer for Recruitment Technology. I actually run my own recruitment technology advisory firm. So I'm a small business owner. So I was really interested when Rachel came on one of the rooms as a guest and spoke about the Swap Shop. And I thought, this is great. This makes a lot of sense. As a small business owner, I didn't and haven't and don't have the skills at times to develop my business. And I work with a lot of different startups, and they're exactly the same. There was an 80s hint, a Swap Shop theme, and I was completely sold. So we got together, we started chatting and realized, let's try and do some rooms on the Swap Shop. So as a past 80s DJ and somebody who loves Clubhouse, because the fact I don't have to do my hair or get out of my pajamas, top wise is fine. These are my official pajamas. And I thought let's try and push this. Let's try and grow Swap Shop, and that's what we did. We started to run regular rooms. We started to do a Saturday show, hoping that people would join. And we had some amazing chats. We often say on this show that we love it when a swap comes together, which is a little back to the 18 thing. You'll find a lot of these horrible little links that I do back to the 80s and little theme tunes that we have and those kind of things. But what we found was people were genuinely interested to have a chat. And there were small business owners that were struggling. They came on stage. They talked about what they needed to swap, what they were looking for, really. Back in the day when people were swapping their Millennium Falcons for the Stretch Armstrongs and the Barbie dolls for the Scalextrics or whatever it might be, we found people weren't always confident about saying what they wanted to offer. But that offering was really simple, Rachel, wasn't it? I mean, we've had some swaps come on stage where we've had two business owners. One had a great idea, needed help to develop it. They ended up getting together, created this app. I think it's about to launch in the next couple of weeks, isn't it? So we've had people create businesses from it. We've had people swap services. I mean, Clubhouse people have found love. One of our close contacts the other day has actually found love on Clubhouse, not via Swap Shop, but it's not what we offer. But that's the kind of thing. So yeah, Clubhouse was brilliant for that kind of engagement and top of the funnel engagement. And I spent a lot of my time on the likes of LinkedIn. Yeah, and just really enjoyed the time and chat. So by day, I have my role, and over lunch times, and when we get a chance, I help co-host the Swap Shop, and yeah, champion and an ambassador, as we would say.
Thanks.
Back to you, Rachel.
Thanks very much, Jim. So Clubhouse was instrumental in getting the message across the UK, because we are still funding this ourselves. We do this in our own time. Jim as well. We have 7 other champions that we've met through Clubhouse to spread the word, because that's how Swap Shop works best. You know, you put your superhero cap on and cape, and off you go, and you tell other people about us and how we can help you and your business to grow, thrive and survive. The website itself takes literally 2 minutes to sign up. It is totally free, and it's a bit like Tinder for Business, really. That was another name we could have called it, couldn't we? In the fact that we are trying to find you the perfect match, the perfect swap. And if I can tell you a little story about one of our very early successes in Derby, but this just shows how, yes, it may be a non-monetary exchange, you know, my skills for Jim's skills, for example, which doesn't cost us anything other than our time, but actually used well, Swap Shop can be part of your sales funnel. It can increase your brand awareness, and it also can lead to real commercial opportunities. So one of our fellow business owners in Derby, who also started in the pandemic the same time as us, is Colleague Box. They are a fantastic firm, family firm, and they were set up during the pandemic because they couldn't find a letterbox gift to keep fellow employees in touch. They originally worked in another company, and because they couldn't find what their boss wanted, they set it up and they did it themselves, and then it became a whole company of its own. So it's a great success story. They were an early advocate of Swap Shop, and they put a swap on there offering 5 of their boxes in return for some PR support, you know, to get their name out there. Along came Penguin PR, a local PR agency. They took up the plea for help, and they got Colleague Box in the local press, but also in national press as well. And it went so well that Colleague Box and Penguin PR have a commercial arrangement that is still in effect now. Colleague Box turned over £1 million by November last year. So not even a year of being in business, and they'd hit that milestone. Now, Natalie will say, and she won't mind me saying, that a very small part of that successful journey and that achievement of the £1 million was the relationship she made during Swap Shop. So you never know who you might meet. You never know what it might lead to. And we in business, we do this all the time. Somebody pre-COVID, you would meet in a networking and say, oh, could you just give me some advice about this? Or who do I speak to about that? Where's the referral? I'm not quite sure about how I should improve my website. Could you give me some hints and tips because you're a website designer? And we do it normally over a cup of coffee or a glass of wine. And then we're hoping that by sharing of our expertise, we're establishing ourselves as the expert that we are, and that's going to lead to future business. SwapShop is exactly the same, but we were set up in the pandemic because if you couldn't go out and you didn't have those people in your network, who would help you? Who would be there to support you? And what we have found is actually small businesses are very able and very willing to solve problems of other small business owners and challenges because actually they want to give something back. So actually a great thing to come out of COVID is how willing we are to be able to support each other. And I think we're the original sustainable recyclable business really, because we are making sure that we are sharing and recycling our advice and support. So to give you an idea about what you see when you go onto the site, and I wish I could share the screen with you, which shows you the website, because I'm very proud of how it looks, but I am not that technically competent and it might give the TV camera guys a bit of a headache. So you're going to have to just trust me as I tell you what it looks like. So you head to www.theukswapshop.co.uk. You watch Jim get in right now with his technical wizardry. Look, it's as if we've rehearsed it.
How did you know, Rachel? How did you know, Sam?
So you head over to this site. It takes minutes to sign up. He's even got the music as well. You see, this is what we could do all day long. It takes minutes to sign up. Once you're in, you'll be able to see behind the door. And today we've got 21 swaps. So things go up and down in terms of the swapping numbers. So you'll have to forgive me as I look away from the camera because I'm looking at my other camera. So, for example, we've got organisations offering help with understanding and searching for trademarks. And in return, they're looking for an email that summarises the benefit you've had. And the purpose for that is so that they can use that as testimonials, as anonymous case studies to, again, reaffirm their positions as the experts in trademarks. So if you're a new business out there, SwapShop is perfect for you to be able to get your track record, to get some case studies, to get some really meaty customer comments, Google reviews, to then increase your brand awareness and profile. We've got another one here, which is offering photography, and they're open to sensible offers. So again, that's a situation where you could negotiate. Somebody else in Buckinghamshire is offering marketing channel audits, startup marketing advice. Again, digital marketing has been so crucial for us during the pandemic. But if that's not your area of expertise, where do you go? And in return, this business owner wants a testimonial and a case study. We've equally got somebody offering relaxation hypnotherapy. Don't we all need that right now, especially with what we've been through in the past 18 months? Self-care is really important. Jim and I feel very passionate about that. And in return, they would like some help with local SEO and marketing. SwapShop works best when the swaps are the simplest and easiest to understand. So don't ask for a website build. It's too complex. It's a lot of work. But if you would like 3 tips on how to make your website more effective, and in return you will give an hour of your time and your expertise, that works perfectly well. And once you've found a swap that you're interested in, you click on a little button that says let's swap. And this enables you to have a conversation. So if Jim has a swap on there and I'm really interested, but I don't know Jim from Adam, I'm interested because he's part of SwapShop. So that already says to me he's trustworthy. He's a guy that wants to give back. He's also put his social media handles on there. So I've checked him out a little bit, done a bit of digital stalking. But I still don't know how to contact him. So one of the things that we made sure that was available within the platform was a messaging function. So I click on Let's Swap. I can ask him a question, and basically that takes me into a message box, and I can send Jim a message and say, hey Jim, I'm really interested in your swap, but I'd like to know a little bit more. That flies through the ether. That's the extent of my technical knowledge. And Jim isn't necessarily in SwapShop every day, checking out every hour what's going on. he might not actually plan to go into Swap Shop till a couple of days later. Tomorrow, Jim will receive an email alert into his inbox, his usual email inbox, that says, hey Jim, there's a message waiting for you in Swap Shop. He clicks on that button, straight back into our platform, and there's the message from me. We can then speak on the telephone, do you remember those? Or we can equally email each other. Yeah, what was the telephone number, Jim, for Swap Shop?
Oh, 081. So I know there's 555 at the end, only because I can see it in the background there. But yeah, it feels a little bit like Strictly Come Dancers. You know, call us, email us. You know, and it is free. It's a free thing to do. It doesn't cost you anything, only a bit of time.
Exactly. So if you do remember the telephone number, because I'm sitting in front of it, you can't see it here, then, you know, tweet us. We're all over social media. Jim's giving you a hint, look, we're all over social media because, and this is the thing that's so crucial. You may be sitting there right now thinking, I haven't got anything to swap. I challenge you, you do. You are an exceptional small business owner. Your octopus-like ability is off the chart. But you can't be an expert in everything. But the thing that you do, that you sell to others, you are an expert in that. But equally, you've been through a lot of things to be able to get to where you are. So I've shared in my business career, my very first Excel spreadsheet that I use for my double entry bookkeeping. Now, I'm not an accountant, but if I met somebody and they would want that, then they could have that. Equally, if you do want to talk to me about bids and grants and tenders, then that's equally fine. So we do have our very unique specialisms, but we also have other things. And what I've always found, and I don't know whether you guys are the same, I've always given my time to people that are starting up, even people that are established. But it's very rare that I've actually said to them, oh, and now could you do this for me in return, please? In a nice way. I've not even asked them for a testimonial. And I think that's the British thing. I think across the world, other people might be a bit more open, a bit more direct about that. So that's another thing that I think Swap Shop gives, is a very overt, fully out there, but supportive exchange. I do something for you, you do something for me. And those testimonials are very important because we do say thank you, but to have them in print on our website, on our LinkedIn, testimonials. This is how we bring other people into our sphere of influence. So it is for everybody. It does all start with a swap. You do have something to offer. But then what we also need you to do is, once you've put your swap on here on our site, I'd like you to tell the world, because we run this completely for free. The website itself doesn't have, at this time in present, AI functionality. It's very labor intensive, and we share by sharing with our social media following. So once you've put your swap on there, make sure that you then tell everybody that you're swapping with us, or tell your business networks that this is something out there that they can use, because Swap Shop is very much for you by other business owners similar to you. And this is how we get the message out there. And this is certainly something that Jim's been doing, you know, as one of our ambassadors. Isn't that right, Jim?
Yeah, I think the key for me, so we go back to Clubhouse as a top of the funnel engagement tool. And if you think of small business owners, that you have a wealth of skills that you want to share as well. So we talk about social selling, we talk about social engagement, and Swap Shop is a community, and it's already building a community of members. There's a community of swaps going on. And I think if you then are able to put your swap, something you're needing, something you're wanting to and able to offer, it starts that top of the funnel engagement. And what a great place for it to do and be. Well, it's always really proven to drive business. So if we look at social media, we look at social engagement, we look at the different channels and the habitats and the worlds that people live in, then with SwapShop, you have a community that you can start to build, start to network in one place where you start that business journey. And we do that on a daily basis anyway. When we've been authentic on social media, Rachel, we are swapping, we are telling people what we do, what our expertise is, what our background. My background is recruitment for 24 odd years, back when I wasn't so follically challenged. And I've been on all sides of the fence, from the agency, the in-house side, and now on the technology side. So one of my swaps on there is actually to help businesses attract talent. And at the moment, it's where people are struggling. But being authentic on social media, that social relationships that you can build, SwapShop is a home for that, I think. How are we doing the chats? Have we got any calls? Got anything live going on? Anybody got any questions for us? Because we're used to people asking us lots of different things, aren't we, Rachel, really?
Yes, we are. And I love how all this really takes you out of your comfort zone to learn something completely new. I mean, it makes me nervous, but I'm all over that. We haven't got any questions right now. The guys have very kindly put our website into the chat. I think it can feel a bit overwhelming sometimes of, oh, I don't know what I could possibly do. So that's why the SwapShop site being free means that you could go and have a look and check things out. I think it's really interesting that there's a lot of talk about, small businesses and the economy, and, there are 5.8 million small businesses in this country. And women actually are starting more businesses as a result of the pandemic. So we're coming for the fellas. 1 in 4 have started a business due to the pandemic, and it was previously 1 in 8. But the business support landscape can be quite confusing. The Business and IP Centre network is a phenomenal resource, but equally we need to be harnessing the resource of each other, and it's something I feel very passionate about. And by telling your networks about us and signposting people to us, then we can continue to build what Jim and I often call our revolution, so that actually we can address some of these smaller level, practical, technical challenges that small businesses face that the support mechanisms don't always reach. And I also think small businesses are more likely, and the research shows this, to trust each other because they see a similarity in the person. So Jim and I have completely different businesses, but there's a lot of commonality in the things that we've faced. And Jim's actually based in Ireland. So, we're in different countries in effect, but there are a lot of similarities. There are a lot of differences. I trust the advice that he gives me because I know he's trod a similar path to me. So that authenticity that I think SwapShop carries comes from its members. And if I tell you we're nearly at 1,000, if we can get there this month, I will be a very, very happy posh pause minder. We're at nearly 1,000. We cover 43 counties. 58% of SwapShop members are women, which is, I'm particularly proud of that. And I think it just shows you how A, we were of the moment, but B, we do have things that we can offer to each other to build our businesses when times are very difficult. And if you look at the data that's being released across the UK today, confidence is still a little shaky. And I think we are very worried as a community of making large investments, whereas SwapShop can enable you to eat that elephant in smaller chunks by making sure that the buying decisions that you're making are based on sound data. So if it is that you want a website building, if it is that you want to take on staff, working with some of my experts that exist within the platform to have that initial conversation will enable you to make those stronger decisions. And I can definitely see that in the way in which our members are using SwapShop. Some of them are offering their services, some of them are offering their free samples. Some of them are asking for testers, people to do some beta testing of their technological sites to make sure that their messaging is very clear. So I think this is a perfect opportunity for you out there. So whether you've been in business 10 years or 10 minutes, Whether you're thinking about it as your side hustle, think, could I do this? Swap Shop is perfect for that. If you're a university student, please tell your business support teams in your careers teams about us. Get our name out there. If you belong to a business network for micro and SMEs, please tell them about us too. But equally, you know, please do follow us on our socials, because very much Swap Shop is a community, and we're only as strong as that community that supports us and builds us. We will continue to push this forward, to keep working on the improvements that it needs. But this is a very Herculean task, if I could be so bold as to say. And, you know, Jim and I and the other champions, the guys at Think3, you know, the juggle is constant for us. And I don't tell you that to get the sympathy vote, but this is real. And I think that we have something here that will help more than the community that I had in Derby and the community that we've got across the piece. So I'm very aware that we've got 5 minutes.
I think as well, Rachel, just if I can jump in, is,
Yeah.
you know, as a previous small business owner, sometimes you are, you know, quite introvert. I'm quite a shy person. I don't, you know, don't mind getting on stage. I don't mind talking, but reaching out, you know, if you are thinking and think, oh, I might have a swap, but don't want to put it up, reach out to myself or Rachel. You know, we're online, we're on social media. We're happy to have a chat with you. You know, what we found in the Clubhouse rooms, and please do join Wednesdays, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. GMT. That might change, but we also have a club there as well. There's no little greenhouse for those of you who've been on Clubhouse to understand that. But do reach out to us, talk to us, because what we found is when people are talking to us about what they'd like to swap or an idea they might have, then what they offer can come out as well. Or you might want to encourage someone, and that's what we want to do, really encourage people to help build this community, because Swap Shop's nothing without yourselves. Really, it's, you know, it's a fantastic idea. It's a growing idea, but we need more people. The more people to join the community, the more swappers, the more swap stars that we have on there, you know, to help businesses grow and take that step forward. I think really, we've got 3 minutes to fill, Rachel.
I know we're doing so well, we also have an e-bulletin that goes out. It's a swap shot. Try and say that when you've had too many. That goes out every month at the end of the month. So that's a great opportunity to promote yourselves, to promote your swap to the 948 members I think we've got now. So please do follow us on our socials. Please have a conversation with us, as Jim says. We have videos that we can send out so that you don't have to just constantly ask us to be in your sessions. You can watch all about us. And please do look out for us. We are shortlisted in the Great British Entrepreneur Awards later this month, which would be a huge accolade. But just to be a finalist for a company that started up with just a crazy idea by 3 Derby-based entrepreneurs would be an awesome accolade. And we're definitely proud of that. We're also part of Theo Paphitis' SBS family. So all of these sorts of things help us to get the word out there, but the best advocates are our swappers. And they will tell you that they love the idea and that actually it did make a difference, and they've gone on to have very long lasting relationships with the people that they've swapped with, whether that's in their immediate local community or whether that's across the UK. So please do check out our website, www.theukswapshop.co.uk. Follow us on social. We're on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, not TikTok yet. And more often than not, when you do post a message in there, it's me that picks those up. So know that you'll be talking to me. Equally, you can email me at hello@derbyswapshop.co.uk. And we would love to talk with you some more. As Jim says, join us on Clubhouse. You can easily find us. And if anybody's having any problems, you can just get in touch with your local BIPC network and they will tell you how to track us down. So it's been wonderful spending lunchtime with you. Thanks so much for joining me, Jim, live in Ireland.
It's funny, isn't it, how the world has got a lot smaller. And that's the beauty of what we're doing at the moment as well. Yeah, thank you, Rachel. Over in Derby, there is Studio 1 in Derby, Studio 2 here in Ireland. So yeah, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for everyone for joining. The phones are still ringing in the background if you remember that Swap Shop theme and Swap Shop tune. And if you know Maggie, Noel, or anybody, please get them to come and join us one day on Clubhouse or even live. Thanks, Rachel.
Thanks very much, Jim. That would be awesome. Find Noel, get him away from the Jungle Radio in New Zealand. And thanks very much to Terence for signing up, and Catherine Walsh too. Great to be with you. It all starts with a swap. Thank you very much.
Thanks all.